Hello everyone, I'm Carlton T. Clay. My next guest is the owner and founder of Augusta Good News. She's also a writer here in the Augusta area, Charmain Brackett. How are you doing?
I'm great today, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you for joining me, I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Now let's get started. How did you get started into writing? Like, what inspired you to want to start writing?
Well, people ask me, because I've written about 14 books, they'll say, so did you always want to be a writer? And my answer, the straight answer is no, I never wanted to be a writer. I had to be a writer.
Okay.
That was just one of those things. I grew up reading, loving to read. When I was in 7th grade, I went to the Augusta Chronicle as part of a tour with my class. I was in Girl Scouts at the time, and they had a journalism badge. And I really got interested in journalism and wanted to be a sports writer. And it all kind of came together, that love of writing. In college, people would say, so what are you majoring in? And I said, English. And they would say, so you're going to be a teacher. Now, I have the utmost respect for teachers, but I knew that I was not teacher material.
Right.
So writing was something that I could do.
Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. Now you mentioned you have 14 books. Wow. How can people like learn more about your books? Like, how can they get them and
Well, David at the Book Tavern has them.
Okay.
I have one series. It's 6 books set in Augusta, a mystery series, and then I've also written a couple of children's books too.
Okay. What's the mystery series about? Well, what's that?
It's called Grace's Augusta Mysteries, and I like the history of Augusta, so I will include some places that you would recognize. I always thought it would be cool if people would read my books and go, wow, I'd really like to go to Augusta and see these places, find out what she's really talking about. So I guess I was inspired by Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, Savannah and the tours, and that's always just been in the back of my mind.
That's amazing. 14 books. And so you say they're at David's Tavern.
At Book Tavern,
at Book Tavern.
And Amazon,
Okay, I'm about to say, if people are in the Augusta house, could they get the books?
Yeah, Amazon.
Okay, awesome. So shout out to David at Book Tavern. That's cool. So you did mention your journalism career. I know you from starting off at the Augusta Chronicle, and then of course you were at Augusta Press, and now you have your very own thing, Augusta Good News. What inspired you to start Augusta Good News?
Well, I've always loved Augusta. That's one thing, and it always made me sad when people would call it Disgusta because I grew up here. I was born here, raised here, and my family has lived here years before me. So I just believe there are bad things that happen in this world, and you've got to have the good. And uplift the good, overcome evil with good, that kind of thing. And so I just would look around and see all of these stories of people. And we have some great people who live here. No community is perfect. Right. But if you can accentuate the positive using one of those old cliches, and that's how it came about. It's just wanting to tell other people's stories. And I really feel like that, we all are different, and that's fine that we're different, but if we can learn something about somebody else's story and maybe find some common ground with somebody else, then that can maybe bring down some of these walls of division that we have. Right.
What has been the response since you began Augusta Good News?
We need this. This is needed. Thank you for doing this. That's what I hear from people all the time, is they can come to my site and find out, just the good things that are happening in town, but have your daily dose of good news and give you kind of maybe a jump start on your day and just make you happy maybe sometimes.
Yeah.
So
I just want to say I'm definitely proud of you that you definitely stepped out and made that decision. So that's beautiful. And also what I love how you count your stories. Like, I know sometimes you'll do a post like how many stories I've done. Do you know to this day how many stories you've done with Augusta Good News?
There are more than 500 on the site, and it launched on November 22nd last year. It probably is close to 600, but I did not write all those.
Gotcha.
I have a few other people who write with me, and just promoting what goes on good in our city.
That's awesome. Yeah. Good. If people want to read Augusta Good News, or they want to find out more about Augusta Good News, how can they do so?
Just go to augustagoodnews.com, and there it is, and you don't have to pay to read it. It's there as a community service, I guess, as you would say. Yeah. So.
If you want to give someone some encouragement or some inspiration or maybe some advice about how to get into writing, there's 2 parts: how to get into writing, creative writing first, and then journalism. Like, what advice would you give?
You know, if, like I said earlier, I didn't want to be a writer. It was one of those things that I felt like was inside of me and I had to do. And if you have a gift to write or a gift to speak or a gift to be an administrator, you need to find a career that fits your gift or you're not going to be happy. And so being in journalism and meeting people and finding out their stories, and I've done great stories on you over the years, and you've inspired me so much with the things that you've done. That is, I think that's really important, that we do something that matches our set of gifts. And journalism, you know, it's a hard field to get into, but I think that if you're really serious about it, if you're in college and doing some internships with some magazines or newspapers or whatever, and just going after that, I will say I worked with Don Rhodes, who recently passed away, and I've actually written a few things about him. And one of the things that I learned was when he was in college, he got a recommendation letter from somebody at the Atlanta Journal, and they said he's a nuisance because he asks everybody, what are you doing? He wants to learn about their job. And then this person went on to say, if anybody wants to do journalism, not for the sake of a byline, not for a paycheck, but just because they think it's a worthy thing to do, then they should do it. So that's a long answer.
No, that was some good words of advice. People need to hear that. That's good. Well, thank you so much, Charmain, for joining me today. I definitely appreciate it. Thank you for the words of wisdom. Congratulations to everything you have going on.
Thank you.
Again, 14 books. I'm just amazed by that. 14 books. If you're in Augusta, please go to Book Tavern, which is on Broad Street.
So yeah.
Please go there. Or if you're not in Augusta, you can always go to Amazon, and her books are there as well.
Yes.
And also go to AugustaGoodNews.com.
Exactly.
Correct.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you again, Charmain, for joining me. I definitely appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
All right, everyone. I am Carson T. Clay. Have a good one.